We yearn for it, to belong to communities and enterprises where trust is the ground, where we get to bring our best selves to work we care deeply about, where we are held to our best with love. This means that our team members care enough to speak the truth when we demonstrate behavior that diminishes us, where robust and passionate debate and disagreement are not considered wrong, but required. Diversity is essential for healthy ecologies, where the clarity of how we are with each other is lived, with all ambiguity removed, where we become better humans, better teams, better stewards, where our shadow and the unreconciled aspects of self are owned in transparency from the beginning. We want the connection, the experience of being seen, to feel we belong. We want to be part of something far more significant than ourselves, a purpose that has us look up above the noise, anger, gossip, backstabbing, insecurities, greed, and selfishness, something that provides a path that brings us alive. We want to become better as we journey, more whole, kinder, more able to take multiple perspectives, to consider other opinions before we jump to conclusions, to grow up and not be distracted by gossip, conspiracy, untamed ego, or drama, to keep the things that matter most foremost in our minds and actions, to accept our mistakes and refuse to fall into blame and helplessness and righteousness, to observe our hypocrisy, to refuse to be victims or to victimize. We want to be able to express ourselves in our unique way without harming others, to sing it or dance it. We want an ecology where we do not have to cut off some essential part of ourselves to belong or to be connected. We do not have to pretend to be someone else or to walk on eggshells, where no one will leave the room when it gets emotionally hot and charged. People will stay in the conversation until the air is clean, because we have gathered for something greater, where we are all vigilant to groupthink, to consensus disease that allows a team to agree to do terrible things through fear of exclusion or retribution, to not speak up and say no against the gravity of the yes. Establishing all of these things is challenging. It takes commitment, participation, agreement, and integrity. Hello, this is Christine McDougall, and this is Sunday Syntropy for July 9th, 2023. The topic, Trust Manifesto, the secret ingredient for team success. Thank you for listening. Commitment, to trust oneself completely, to be your word. C-O-M, with, together, is the exact C-O-M that lives in community. We can only be in community if we are committed. Be your word. Know that you get to choose what you commit to. Only commit to what you will do, not what you think you will do. Self-deception or lying that you will do something when you have little commitment is a sword that cuts self the most as it breaks trust in others. From W.H. Murray, The Scottish Himalayan Expedition, this beautiful poem. Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative or creation, there is one elementary truth, that the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would otherwise never have occurred. A whole stream of events issues from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of incidents and meetings and material assistance which no one would have believed would have come their way. Whatever you think you can do or believe you can do, begin it. Action has magic, grace, and power in it. This is to be committed. participation. Standing on the sidelines and throwing rocks and insults might feel good. These words are cheap and absent personal investment, commitment, and participation. We have to get into the arena. This quote by Theodore Roosevelt says it best. It is not the critic who counts, not the one who points out how the strong man stumbled or how the doer of deeds might have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred with sweat and dust and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes short again and again, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, and spends herself in a worthy cause, who, if she wins, knows the triumph of high achievement, and who, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that her place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. Unless someone is in the arena, the opinions, critique, or trolling will be taken with considerably less attention than the person standing beside us, covered in sweat, or the person who exited the arena and lived to tell the tale and be a mentor. This also means that we must be the model in every way of the change we seek to make, an individual participant as well as the collective enterprise. Agreement to give consent, assent. To agree, we must have the full context and content of what we agree to. If we do not, this is a form of coercion. We must understand. An excellent agreement is absent fancy words that cannot be understood, and it is clear, accessible, and equally understood by all parties participating in the agreement. No hidden, sneaky clauses. By agreeing, we are stating that we know and understand what we agree on and the consequences of that agreement. There is no manipulation, threat, or collusion. Making an agreement is a clear choice, given the person agreeing the right of agreement, refusal, or renegotiation. The person agreeing accepts the responsibility for that choice. Integrity, to hold its shape, to be whole, from integer, one, to be, do, act, and live in coherence and alignment. To see an article on this, Do Different Better and Appeal to Integrity, one of our Sunday Syntropy archives. The link is in the show notes. Our values, beliefs, and worldviews are reflected in our words, actions, and behaviors, in how we cultivate relationships, enterprises, and communities, and in the systems and structures that support us to do the same. We can be seen and known for integrity when our whole being becomes a transmission. This is a developmental path, a constant remembering and undoing of all that is not in integrity. It also requires creating cultures of trust. In Syntropic Enterprises, a trust manifesto is used to create the culture of trust. Over the last week, I have been considering Syntropic World's Trust Manifesto, the tool we use as an agreement and commitment threshold crossing for all those seeking active participation in a syntropic enterprise. If you imagine a dartboard with the bullseye in the center and the concentric rings around the bullseye represents the most trusted relationships. Those where the people in this space have each other's back, will not leave the room when it gets hot, and would hold themselves and others to account against all odds. This is not a crowded space. A metaphor for this might be a foxhole in a battle. 3 of us are in a foxhole and darkness falls. We each need to sleep, but the enemy is near. Someone must stay awake to allow the others to relax enough to fall asleep. Do you trust them? Do they trust you? The circle the furthest away from the bullseye is the lower level of trust. If we are creating a trust manifesto equivalent agreement at this level, it might be as simple as a verbal agreement. For example, welcome to our space. You are invited to participate. We ask that you respect others and the space, that you leave it better than when you found it, and that if you cannot keep an agreement, you let people know as soon as possible. Optional but highly gratefully received is an open heart and mind and radical generosity. As we progress from the outer circle to the bullseye, the levels of trust go up by agreement with commitment, integrity, and active participation. The Trust Manifesto moves from a very meta-level verbal or written agreement to one where the way we work and respond to each other is precise and more granular. The journey is like progressing through martial arts from white belt to black belt. No one is forcing you to advance. You made that choice, and with it, the commitment to work on skill development. If you desire a black belt, you know the price. A similar metaphor is the apprentice, journeyman, journey person, and master. Who are doing important work for a world with a future, then we need people in all of the concentric circles of our enterprise and a clear pathway to the highest level of trust for those who desire it. The two-dimensional image is a dartboard, but the actual geometry is that of a spiral. As we move towards the center of the spiral, we are also moving to a higher order of development. At each stage of the journey, we need an enterprise architecture that clearly states the commitment, integrity, participation, and agreement required. This is more complex than simply time given. The level and quality of commitment, integrity, and participation agreed to also matters. What I have learned, and I'm always learning, sometimes delightfully and sometimes with difficulty, is that no matter the context of relationship, some form of Trust Manifesto agreement is crucial to mutually calibrate expectations. If we are going to build a team where we need the foxhole experience, then go all in with trust agreements. Better to take your time to get this aligned, coherent, and in integrity than to rush for no reason without building deep foundations of trust. I love answering your questions. So if you have any questions for this episode or previous episodes, please visit syntropic.world/podcast and click the orange button.
Hi, Steve from Melbourne here. And my question is...
Hi, this is Robin from warm and sunny Tanzania. My question is...
Good morning, this is Michael Frebe from Germany. My question is...
Hi, this is Colleen in the Netherlands. My question is...
Hi, this is Cindy from beautiful Cambridge.
Hello, I am Paul Epping from the Netherlands. And my question for the podcast...
Bonjour, my name is Dorothy from Brussels, Belgium.
Hi, my name is Ivan from Cali, Colombia, but I'm living in Bali right now. So my question is...
Hi, I'm Rochelle Armstrong from Northeast Victoria, Australia. My question is...
Hiya, this is Lorraine in Montreal, Canada, and my question is...
And that completes my question.
And that completes my question.